Connecting. We're connected. It's working. We're streaming. Okay. Evie, I'm streaming, so I'm going to be talking politics.
Okay, I'll just piss you off.
All right. Okay. So today, no, Evie, shut up. I'm talking about the EU referendum. This is serious. This is serious business. Right. So today we got a leaflet through our door that looks neutral. It says, why am I even showing you my stream thing? Close that. It says here, European Union, like the facts, and it looks, looking at it, it looks neutral-ish because it's not. It just looks really plain and boring, but it's actually a Leave campaign. It does say vote Leave and take control at the bottom, but the way it's written or presented to you, it's presented so mundane and dull you won't realise it. And what we're going to be doing here is real simple and straightforward. We're going to just fact check the claims. This is something anyone can do, everyone can do. So we're going to do a live fact checking exercise. So the first claim on here is over 250,000 migrate to the UK from the EU every year. This is the equivalent of a city the size of Newcastle every year. I've never been to Newcastle, so this means nothing to me. EU law means all members must accept the free movement of people, yeah. Many immigrants contribute to our society, yeah. They also have an impact on public services. Experts disagree on the overall effect. So that's not really a that's not really a reason to leave if it says experts disagree on the overall effect. That's saying this many immigrants come here each year, but we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. So let's just look. I'm on full. Hold on. Let's refresh the page. I am on fullfact.org/Europe. So this is an independent fact-checking charity. So if anyone does talk rubbish, their main job is to call them up on it. And let's just click on EU and pressure in immigration and see what it says. It says the EU is under great financial pressure. It says the EU contributes to financial pressure on the NHS, but its annual impact is small compared to other factors. Whether the EU immigrants pay enough into public finances overall to cover the cost is difficult to say, and researchers give different answers. So this is like I said on the leaflet, people disagree. However, it does appear that they make more of a net contribution than other groups. So what they're saying here is compared to other groups, immigrants are giving more than we are, which makes sense because I'm a 0-hour worker, so sometimes I will have a lot of work, sometimes I won't. So the amount I give might differ to, say, the occupational therapist that I know in the NHS that it happens to be Polish. She's got a full-time job. She's obviously given more in tax than I am. So the UK doesn't claim back as much as it could of the cost of treating Europeans who come here for a short period as visitors or to live as pensioners, which is mostly down to the NHS not asking for money it's due. So this isn't the fault of the migrants, this is our fault for having accounts people that haven't chased up the money. The NHS is under great financial pressure, set to continue for the foreseeable future. A symptom is the unprecedented headline deficit of 2.45 billion run by NHS trusts in England last year alone. Wow. The role that immigration from Europe plays in driving this is a contentious and important issue in the debate around whether the UK should leave the EU. EU citizens moving into and through the UK change both sides of the NHS's financial equation. They affect the number of people who must be treated, but by paying taxes or transferring money from their home countries under schemes such as EHIC, they also affect how much money the health service has to spend. So there's a 2.5 billion quid deficit, but the migrants, they help plug some of that deficit. At the same time, they also need to be treated, but in the fact that a lot of them are in work means that's one budget gap that they help deal with. Are they driving current pressure on the NHS? So the trust deficit and wider pressures the NHS faces are driven by an unrelenting increase each year in the cost of treating patients coming forward. Is EU migration an important contributing factor in this? We estimate In 2014, migration from the EU added £160 million in additional costs for the NHS across the UK. So that's a lot of money. That figure has been arrived at by using NHS England estimates of cost to the health service for people in different age groups. We can add these costs for migrants who arrive and subtract them for those who leave to estimate in total the cost of migration from the rest of the European Union. It assumes that they use health services at the same rate as people of the same age already in Britain, which some studies support, although there is also evidence that EU immigrants may be healthier because they don't eat as much rubbish as we do. Like, I think I had the first apple I've eaten in a month yesterday. Let's see, 160 million quid is a significant figure, and they didn't say quid. However, it is small compared to the additional costs caused by other pressures on the health service. So why is the NHS getting more expensive? This basic table. If we can just make it big. Is that appearing? Yeah. So, and like point something of a billion is more EU migrants. Then you've got more non-EU migrants. Then you've got other groups of people growing and aging. So, you know, if you've got the audacity to grow old, that's going to affect the NHS more than Pavel and insert generic migrant name coming into Britain. New technologies and expanding treatment, so that's buying all the new gizmos and using the new gizmos. And the biggest reason is rising costs and wages. So everything's getting more expensive. But that's... It's like, I've been chatting for how long, and then this graph is just like, boom. How many minutes have we got? Because I know my stream tends to explode after a few amount of minutes, 7 minutes, so yeah, it's about to go. It's growing and aging native population. This is something that I've been thinking about for a long time, because as all of us are living longer, this is going to cost the NHS and everything else a fortune. It's not them. It'll probably be a migrant that'll be dealing with me when I'm Lord knows how old and unable to fend for myself. But the number one thing I keep seeing missed whenever we're talking about the there we go. Oh, that's not it. Anyway, the British Medical Association sent out a letter during the last election explaining that they were experiencing the tightest budget squeeze in their entire history. Unfortunately, I've loaded up a Labour list link, which isn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to get from the horse's mouth. But as you could see from that table we were looking at a moment ago, it's we don't want to be there. It's the migrants that are doing the damage. It's not. I don't want in my day. It's the fact that we're not. They published the letter in the name already finished. With the thing about the EU is, and its impact on public services. This is what we were looking at. Is that they gave a piece of waffle saying that migrants may or may not affect things badly, and as we've gone on the Full Fact website, they've said no, it's old people, except it's not popular for people to go out there and blame their pensioners. And I'm not going to blame people for getting old, because one day I'll be old. I'm not old, Evie. I'm 25.
26.
I'm 26 soon. Oh, thanks for weighing in. Evie, what do you think about the NHS? You've got like 1 minute. Not NHS, EU, that's the one.
Oh, I think we should stay.
Why should we stay?
Oh, Jesus Christ, my floor.
Evie, the microphone, I don't think it can pick you up.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. Why should we stay, Evie? Evie, it's all right. No one can see you.